วันนี้ยอมมาเยอะนะเพื่อภาวนาทั้งชีวิตของเรากินกันคุยกันเล่นกันนอนแล้ววันนี้วันเดียวเอาอีกแล้วบูชาธรรมบูชาธรรมโอ้ยหลวงพ่อต้องโอ้ยไม่ไหวเมื่อกี้ก็พูดอะไร ทั้งชีวิตของเรากินกันคุยกันเล่นกันนอนแล้ววันนี้ภาวนากันจิตภาวนาทำใจให้สงบอยู่กับพุทโธลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกเลยกิเลสขึ้นมาเลยความคิดขึ้นมาความจำขึ้นมาก็สลับกับพุทโธพยายามน้อยมันทุกคนก็อยากเห็นนะความสงบของจิตนะเป็นยังไงมันความสบายยังไงเมื่อฝึกกันเมื่อพยายามก็เจอกันเองนะความสุขแท้ไม่ต้องซื้อนี่ไม่ต้องซื้อโน่นไม่ต้องทำนี่ไม่ต้องทำโน่นเพราะว่าความสุขเกิดในใจของเราไปหาดูในใจและไปหาดูในใจยังไงของเราไปหาดูในใจก็ช่วยนะคำอะไรคำพุทโธลมหายใจเข้านะมาอยู่กับพุทโธก็ลมหายใจเข้าแล้วสลับทุกความคิดขึ้นมาและทุกความจำขึ้นมานะมันจะเจิดใจของเราจิตใจของเราเนี่ยแล้วในจิตใจของเรานะมันจะมีกิเลสอยู่แล้วเจออันเก่านะที่ทึกของเรานะมันบังคับให้มันไม่อยากรู้นะมันจะเกิดขึ้นนะมันจะดูไล่ออกดูไล่ออกไม่ต้องสนใจนะมาจากไหนปกติก็มาจากจิตใจมาจากชาติก่อนหรือมาจากชาตินี้รับบางทีก็ร้องไห้ก็ไม่เป็นไรมันเจ็บปวดนะที่ความเจ็บปวดนะมันทิศเจอกันชาตินี้นะมันจะไม่อยากรู้นะแล้วมันลบมันนะเดี๋ยวนี้มันภาวนานะมันจะเกิดขึ้นนะเวลาเกิดขึ้นก็รับทราบก็ไล่ออกนะโอเคกับพุทโธนะจึงวันหนึ่งก็ไม่รู้นะมันอีกกี่ปีอีกกี่ชาตินะมันจะใช้มันว่างไปหมดนะมันว่างไปหมดมันมีสุขนะมีสุขตลอดเข้าใจไหมพยายามหน่อยนะเดี๋ยวนะจะพูดภาษาอังกฤษน้อยก็คนไทยก็กับภาวนาได้นะก็ได้คนที่เขาใช้ภาษาอังกฤษก็ฟังได้ไม่ต้องไปก็ได้ไปแต่ไปเดี๋ยวนี้ไปก็ได้คนที่อยากภาวนาคนที่อยากฟังนะก็ฟังต่อไปWhat is? แปลว่ายังไม่เข้าใจเหรอAll our life we play, we speak, we eat when we sleep. This life, next life, one life after the other. Must be so much fun, So what was I talking last time about? We should reflect about that. Death is coming anytime. Sometimes it comes anytime soon, or sometimes it comes anytime later. So reflect about that. Because once we die, we don't have any more time to practice. We will receive we will receive the merit or the demerit of this life, but we cannot change anything anymore. Now, every moment of our existence now, when we practice a little bit, we can change. We can change, to give in to the Killis, or we can change, not to give in to the Killis and to follow the Dhamma. Every moment, It's so tiring, I need to break, I need to break, I need to break, Who needs a break? Who needs a break? It's the Killis who need the break. They don't want to constantly stay with the Buddha or stay with the breath. Or, stay with the object of investigation. They want to play around, Especially they want to engage in talking or in eating or looking for this or looking for that or finding this out or finding that out. That's what they're interested in. They can't never get enough, and this is something you have to realize. The Killis never can get enough. When we eat, there is a time, when we have enough, when our stomach is full and we can't eat anything anymore. So for a time being, we stop eating. But the Killis never stop playing. They play from the moment we wake up, Actually, they play also in our sleep, And they produce all these dreams. And then we wake up, and then we think about these dreams. Does it have any importance? No, it doesn't have any importance. Just like when we practice and sit down in samadhi, train our mind, train our cheetah in samadhi. These things come up, these images come up, these thoughts come up, these memories come up. Do they have any meaning? No. But we give them meaning. Just like our whole life, we give everything a meaning. We call a tree, we call a stone, we call a house, we call a human being, or we call an animal, But we learned that, Remember that, When we were half a year old or 1 year old, we hear our parents talk, this is this is that is that, So, we brought up with all the definitions of everything what we can see in this world, And that's what we believe in, We never ask the question, what is actually a tree? What is a flower? What is a stone? What is a house? What is a human being? What is the body? We never ask, because the moment we see it, we define it, and then then it is finished for us. Just like we never ask, we never ask, what is a dukkha vedana, what is a painful feeling, what is pain, what is happiness, what is this and what is that, we see it, coming, and when something nice comes, we are happy. When something not nice comes, we are unhappy, and so on, We see all these things happening, Just like we go into a movie, Remember that, I haven't talked about it for a while, Our life is just like, being in a long movie, Not a 2-hour movie, but, a 70 years long movie, And what we see, we see this person coming up, we see this occasion coming up, we see this happening coming up, we see this phenomena coming up, And some of the phenomena, just like when we watch a movie, Some things we like, and sometimes make us laugh, sometimes some things make us cry, and sometimes some things make us angry. You remember? Remember that when you went to the movies or when you watched a movie? Nowadays people don't go anymore to the cinema, they just watch the movies online. They have their movie theater in their hands, in their smartphone. so they don't need to go to the cinema. That was quite an experience, yeah. But there you could see it, I mean, for these 2 hours, I mean, when it was a long movie or 1.5 hours, I mean, you were lost in this movie, in the story. And sometimes you liked it, sometimes, you didn't like it so much. And that is the same thing, when we close our eyes, we see the storyline coming up constantly, yeah? And we buy into it. Yeah? Actually, we should detach ourselves and see it. Okay, this is just a movie. This is something going on. Whoever sees this, just like in a movie theater, when you sit in the seat, if there's a monster coming up on the screen, and crying out, and apparently walking in front of you, making you cry or making you afraid. Yeah, I mean. It has nothing to do. It cannot come out of the screen. Just like these phenomena, that happen within our chitta. They don't come out. They cannot eat us. But we react to it, just like we react in the movie to it. And this is something. I mean, this is the principle of anatta. Yeah, what the Lord Buddha said: anicca, anatta, dukkha. Yeah, anicca, things are impermanent. They never last. Yeah, the happiness that we find for a moment, doesn't last. The unhappiness also. I mean, we should remind ourselves. The unhappiness that comes in, also doesn't last. And anatta is this principle that all these things, all these phenomena that we see are not me, are not mine, are not myself. And we should remind ourselves, whenever a thought comes in, it's not me, it's not mine, it's not myself. Whenever a memory comes in, it's not me, it's not mine, it's not myself. We should remind ourselves constantly of it. That these happenings or these images there must be a meaning to this image. Why is this memory coming up? There must be a meaning, yeah? Or is this a nimitta? Or is it now samadhi? I mean, these are just definitions, yeah? Don't get fooled by these definitions. Don't get fooled by these questions that the Killis ask us. Yeah? Oh, where is it coming from? Why is it coming now? Why? That makes us just think. That just makes us follow the track of the Killis and defy our practice. We don't practice anymore. Just see them, I mean, always remind yourself, I mean, just like being in a movie theater, some of the things, that are on the movie screen are frightening, yeah? Some of the things are hilarious. Probably haven't come across, I mean, sometimes these situations can be so funny, yeah? But not too often. Most of the things that happen on our inner screen, are more or less frightening or unpleasant. Very, very few things, where we can find happiness. So we have to remind ourselves, whatever we see, whatever we experience, whatever we feel is not me. The chitta. The chitta is the one who sees this. The chitta sits in this movie, movie chair or movie lounge, or whatever, and watches all this. Yeah? I mean, the chitta is also not, it's neither the Killis nor is it the Dhamma. You can see both of it coming up. Yeah? You can see the Killis coming up when it is really detached. It sees the Killis coming up, or it sees the Dhamma coming up. But it is neither the Killis nor is it the Dhamma. But it is the director, yeah? I mean, it allows the Killis to come up, or it allows the Dhamma to come up. That is something that we have to be to realize, yeah? I mean, we are the movie director, yeah? But most of the time we're just so obsessed, with the movie that is going on that we don't take any part, I mean, things are playing on by themselves, yeah? Just like robots, just go on, or the computer just works and works and works and works because the programs have been put in there. Yeah? I mean, it has been, just like we use computers or robots, for our comfort. Yeah? And we use these conditioning, that we are conditioned, for our comfort, that we don't constantly have to be aware, and while we are doing things, People like they are driving the car, talking to this or hanging on the phone and so on, because the one thing, driving a car, it is not so interesting. It can be very boring, when you drive along a highway, and there are not much other cars, So you have lots of time to think about this, think about that, And that's why we conditioned ourselves, also for certain situations. When we saw that, our reaction to a certain situation wasn't really helpful, we changed it, but we only changed the conditioning, Remember, please, one thing, Nibbana is the unconditioned. And we can't even grasp the idea what it means, unconditioned. If then else, we use this conditioning in programming the computer or programming a robot, And we use that, it comes, it pretty much comes naturally to us, If I see my uncle, I will react like this, or I will say this. If I see my aunt, I will react like this, or I will say this. If I see my father, I will do this or do that. If I see my mother, if I see my girlfriend, or if I see my boyfriend, and so on, and so on, and so on. If I see my boss, if I see my colleagues, if I go to the restaurant, it's all conditioning. It's not, we are not free, We are actually not free because we are constantly conditioned, We are constantly, if then else is running. We cannot be, we cannot be normal in a situation because over all these lifetimes, we programmed ourselves, to the utmost so that we can face every condition. And if you remember, if it is not long ago, when you came to Thailand, there were certain situations where you didn't know how to react, So, what did you do? You had hopefully a little bit of study, a little bit of awareness, we're watching what is going on, and then you created a new condition. Now, while this condition is running, you still can think about this or dream about this or dream about a better life, dream about, when I become an arahant or when I become a sotapanna, I can do this or I can do that. Or when next year, planning, Not being in the present moment. This is a problem, being in the present moment is, this is actually where the director, comes in, where the cheetah comes in and says, yes, I want this, no, I don't want this, But when the director is, in dreams, or in planning this or planning that, he doesn't even realize what is going on in this moment. And that is what practice is all about, being in the present moment, knowing what is going on in the heart, Last time I talked about it, knowing every moment what is going on in our chitta, Before I move my arm, I know I want to move my arm. And I also know the reason why I want to move my arm. That is what the sati is all about, Before I talk, I know I want to talk. And before I want to talk, I also know the reason why I want to talk. And often it is, we say it is habit. No, it is, when you look at it very closely, it's not really habit, It's part of conditioning because you want to avoid something. So, the sati or the awareness brings to mind, when we don't talk, that there is an uncomfortable feeling. And this uncomfortable feeling, makes us talk something. It doesn't matter what, as long as we avoid this uncomfortable feeling. When a strange person, when when a stranger comes, comes to the monastery, we feel the urge to talk, yeah. Or when we sit long enough, even with a colleague, even with our practicing body, we feel the urge to talk, yeah. Because we can't, we just can't keep quiet. And there is this fear, or there is this uncomfortable feeling. Yeah? That triggers our conditions. If there is an unpleasant feeling, then I do this. Yeah? If in this situation, of course, this if is a little bit more complex. If there's an unpleasant situation, can happen very often. Yeah, if an unpleasant situation happens, when I sit in meditation, then I just get up. Yeah, this is also a condition. But most of the time, there's an unpleasant feeling, yeah, that we want to avoid, before our action. Yeah, it can be action, it can be bodily action, it can be speech, or it can be mental action. Yeah, comes into play to avoid seeing this. Yeah, to avoid seeing the reality of what is going on. Yeah, but the moment we uncondition ourselves, then we see it all. Yeah, and it has nothing to do with us. That's where we come back, to the principle of Anata. All these things have nothing to do with us. Yeah? We just see them, and we don't attach to them. We detach ourselves from them and say, there is this, there is that, there is that. Yeah, and that gives us a certain this gives, this detachment, gives us a certain ability to be the director and do whatever is proper. Yeah? And in each moment, at each moment, there is one thing, that we can do or not to do. Yeah? Because sometimes, we don't need to do anything. If we don't need to do anything, we can stay with our Buddha, we can stay with the breath. And that's it. We not always need to do something. Yeah? But if we are in this conditioning, and then of course we always need to do something. Yeah? So being free of this conditioning, is being free. Yeah? When there's nothing to do, and if you ever met an arahant, when there was nothing, when there was nothing to do, he was not here. Even though, his body was sitting around, but he was not present. Not present, he was present, in himself, yeah, but he was not present, according to other people. He just sat there, but if something happened, where he needed to act, yeah, then he would act, and then you would see it, yeah? You would feel it. Otherwise, you just wouldn't notice it, that there's somebody sitting there. We only notice that somebody is sitting there because of this, because of his ego, because of his action, because of his thinking, because of his speech. When he's completely quiet, we don't even notice it that he's here. So take the time, it's already 1 month of the Pansa, there's only two more months left, yeah. Take the opportunity where there are no activities going on to practice, to find to find this quietude, yeah, and to see, like I said last time, when we go inside the heart, or when we go inside the cheetah, yeah, but the moment it gets quiet, a lot of things are coming up, yeah. So we see what is coming up, yeah. We don't avoid it, we don't push it down, yeah. We just realize, we just note, yeah, or we are aware this is coming up, and then we let it go. Yeah, just like in a movie is going on, yeah, or just throw it out, and go back to the Buddha. If it comes again, then we watch it, we observe it, and let it go, yeah. And by doing this, yeah, if the same thing comes very often, yeah? If you do it over and over and over again, and keep more. Keep more attention to what is going on, keep being more aware of what is going on, and sooner or later we find the cause why this is occurring. Yeah? And once we find the cause, the root of the cause, yeah, then we can uproot it. And then it will never come again. That is the way to practice. So it's enough for me. Yeah. Well, go back to your kuti, and practice. Yeah. Use the time wisely, because we really don't know when we are going to die. I mean, we think we're still young. Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen that young people can die? What was it a month ago? A person 32 years here in the village died. Yeah. Sometimes they die with 20 years, yeah. Sometimes they die with 5 years. Sometimes they just come out of the womb and already died. Huh? We don't know how long we have. Huh? It's a good thing, for most of the people, that we don't know how many years we have to live. We don't know when we are going to die. So, use the time wisely. Use every moment that you have. Just like I said last time, every moment that you have, that you are not busy, with washing your bowl, or even while you're washing your bowl, you still have sati. While you're eating, you still have sati. While you go on pindapat, you still have sati. You don't let the mind drift. That is the most important thing. You don't let the mind drift, and you don't let the mind plan this or that. Oh yeah, after eating I go and walk for 3 hours, and then you go to your kuti. Oh, I'm so tired. Yeah, let's take a rest first. So use the time wisely. That's all what I want to say.